Hey, what's going on there, YouTube?
What's up, everybody?
This is SCL 0320.
Joe Johnson 030.
With enthusiasm.
Yeah, here to talk to you today, guys, about the new Daredevil.
Yeah,
New Daredevil.
Oh, how was it?
Hell's Kitchen. We ain't talking about Chef Ramsay.
It's epicness. It cracks on that. I'm not gonna go there. Okay, first of all, everybody had been talking to me all day. They've been like, yo, you gotta check out this Daredevil. I'm like, when did this come out? It was like last night at midnight. I was like, I was asleep. I had to go to work in the morning, working all day. All day, I've been looking at Facebook messages and tweets. They're like, I'm on episode 8. I'm like, what, the whole season up there? Yeah. So on Netflix, they've released the whole entire season. And I was telling Joe, I was like, dude, like, this is a Netflix original. They're going to come out with Luke Cage. They're going to come out with Iron Fist. But the first feature is going to be Daredevil. And it's going to coincide with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I was like, okay, so we'll see. You know, it might be like comparable to like Arrow, you know what I'm saying, as far as intensity level. But I thought about the fact that this is on Netflix. Anything goes. Death, curse words, everything, anything goes for this one. And so what we're going to be doing, we're going to do a review for the first 2 episodes. The first episode was named Into the Ring, and the second one was Cut Man. This show is nuts. What we'll do is we'll talk about the first 2 episodes, like in a small summary of what we kind of felt about it. And then for the last part, I'm going to have a cutoff point. I'm going to do just like this. And y'all don't look anymore if y'all don't want to be spoiled by it. All right? So, talking about Into the Ring. All right? When the joint popped up, I think the first thing we saw was his dad in the scene. The accident would cause him to be Daredevil, we know later on. But it was shot so well that I was like, they didn't spare any expenses for this. Like they used a real professional approach, and I don't know who's the cinematographer, but everything from the action sequences to the flashbacks, they transitioned so well that this feels like a motion picture, quite honestly, to me. I felt like it was really professionally done. What was one of the things that stood out, I guess, when you first started looking at it? Based on episode 1.
I say the acting.
Yeah, sure.
The acting. I mean, because, like, you see the humanity behind him actually being blind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's something that we kind of, like, take for granted as viewers, or even, like, just fans. So you definitely get to see that side. And I think the actors do a really good job in this show, where it's definitely, especially like when they do flashbacks of like him as a child, it's really emotional. Like the relationship between him and his dad.
It's real.
Yeah.
Like, it's unconventional. It's not like watered down or salted. It's like what I would expect for a person that is living with their dad, that's a boxer, and they don't have that much money, just living, you know. And so I really appreciated it too. That was really cool. For me, I think when he was talking to the priest and he had his glasses off at one point, I was like, when he had his glasses off, you could see the emotion pouring through his eyes, even though he can't tell where everybody is necessarily with his eyes, but he can hear it. But like, you can tell so much pain all over his eyes. And when he put his glasses back on, it's like he's holding all that pain in, and like you really can't see like any fear or any kind of issue on him. Whenever he put his glasses on, I guarantee you, when you look at the show, like, you're gonna be like, okay, he's good. But then when he takes his glasses off, you see his humanity, or you see the anger of the things. And I think one of the things he had said, he was talking about his grandmother. She was like, yeah, you better be careful of the Murdock boys. You might see the devil come out of them. And he had made this description about his dad in a fight, and he said, like, yeah, that happens, you know. And I know it was foreshadowing, because then after that, like, you see like all these different sequences of him being a vigilante and helping out that first group of girls. I thought that was a great scene. I thought he was so fast, and like the way they did the cinematography, they didn't make it so like he's just blurring through the screen. Like, you actually get to see him going in close up, and then they show an outward pan. And they did that really well to me. Like, they've been making sure that you see everything that he's doing. Even the characters. Like, the person that plays the person in Daredevil, his name is Charlie Cox. I think he does a great job. But he's got a partner, Nelson, Foggy Nelson. He's played by Eldon Henson. If y'all remember Mighty Ducks, if you remember Fulton, this is the same guy. And then you've also got Deborah Ann Wool that plays a person named Karen. Later on plays in this. And then you got Rosario Dawson. I'm not going to talk about her character because that's in episode 2. But all these actors, they do a great job. And one of the things that's so funny is that there's this villain that they always are talking about. And my anticipation is going to be the Kingpin. Like, there's no way this is not going to be the Kingpin. But the build-up for all this is just so awesome because you got all these different actors and different story arcs that's coming on. And I think this is just a great beginning. And one of the things, Joe, they said like, man, the more these mass vigilantes start doing stuff and like punching people through walls, like the better it is for our economy and economics. To me, that's precursor to talking about what the Avengers have been doing. Did you catch that when the dude that I guess is working for the big man was talking to those 4 guys? So I thought that was really cool. But all in all, the first episode, I thought it was really good. I give it a 10. Like, I don't have any problems with it. I thought it was really serious. It set the tone really well. And then when the way it ended though, like, I was like, you couldn't help but want to look at the next episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. the villains in this series thus far have been really cutthroat. And it's like it's definitely like a gritty crime city, man. It's just crazy. Like, been watching Gotham, you think Gotham is full of like psychotic people, psychotic criminals, and some of them happen to be funny.
Yeah.
But these guys, nah, man, they're just thugs, man, and they're like cutthroat.
Yeah.
Dog eat dog, man, mentality. And one thing I definitely like about the action, which I thought was really cool, was you, like in the first episode, when the first fight scene was like setting free those girls that are being like trafficked.
Yeah.
It was like, you definitely get to see you see him like actually do like free running and parkour moves.
Yeah.
Like over obstacles. And I thought that, yeah, and the dude is fast. I thought that was really crazy because they could have did it differently to where you don't, or they could have like cut him out the scene and it's like, oh, he just vanished.
Yeah.
But you actually see him like leave.
Yeah.
This
ain't no Batman Begins moment.
And when he leaves, it's like, oh snap, this dude is, you grasp at that point how fast he really is.
Yeah.
And how acrobatic he is. And you think about Daredevil, he is very acrobatic.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job of that.
Yeah. So what do you give the rating for the first episode if you gave a rating? I guess setting the bar for everything.
Setting the bar for everything, I give it a 9. I give it a 9 out of 10. I think I'm waiting for that episode to be like, yo, that just blows me away. I think it's the introduction. It blew me away, but there's gonna be an episode later on down the season.
Oh yeah, like, of course. I mean, this is just the start. The dude doesn't even have a suit.
I'm just gonna throw my phone in the air and I'm just gonna like rip my shirt and just be like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy.
I mean, me and Joe were talking, like, he doesn't have any kind of like gadgets. He doesn't have a suit. He doesn't have anything.
He just fighting dudes straight up with a bare hands with a do-rag on. Fighting cats with a do-rag on, y'all.
Alright, so the second episode, the name of the second episode is Cut Man. So, in the beginning of this joint, well, first of all, don't look at it anymore. if you haven't seen the first episode, don't listen to this because the things that we're going to be talking about in this one is going to be like spoiler filled. And not just that, we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that happened in the previous one. So this will be the cutoff point. Definitely go check out the show. The second episode, just as good as the first, if not better. But yeah, don't listen anymore. Anyway, so this joint, Matt or Daredevil, he's up in a trash can, effed up. That's the best way I can He was messed up. I saw this Latino dude, like, he was looking in the trash can. He was like, "Ayos mío." He dropped the darn trash he dropped his trash and he was about to put it in the trash can and he dipped out running. First thing you see is like Matt like jacked up. He had to pull his mask off. Then Rosario Dawson with her fine self comes in and saves the day. I was like, "Yahoo!" But nah, on the real, like it made the scene feel really serious because I guess it brought the remembrance for me when Batman, like in his early years, like he'd get messed up pretty bad. And it would always be Alfred to be the one to go there and kind of help him out. But Daredevil in this episode, he was vulnerable the entire episode. Like, it wasn't just vulnerability on the physical level because he was messed up. He had wounds and he had cracked ribs. And then he was vulnerable in the sense that somebody knew his identity. They saw his face, and that was like Rosario Dawson's place with this one. Her name's Claire. On the turn side of what happened last episode, in the last episode, one of the persons named Karen, she was the person they were trying to investigate and try to figure out because the episode opened up with her murdering somebody, or what they thought was murdering somebody. And they come to find out, like, Matt has this ability of listening to a person's heartbeat, and he could tell she wasn't lying. And that's pays homage to the mythology of Daredevil, which is really good. But all throughout, like, this girl is being tormented. She went to jail for the wrong reasons, and then she almost got killed in jail. All these different corrupt, terrible things are happening. Like, you can feel the tone of what's going on. And then eventually, towards the end of the episode, they recruit her in to help them out with their new job they're gonna be doing. But in this one, like, it was Karen and Foggy together, because Karen's really scared and stuff like that. And they're going out in town drinking. I felt like that was kind of the comic relief. Like, I think it was kind of setting the lower tone so that the serious stuff that's about to happen is going. Because when they were at the bar, Joe, I was like, yo, they about to get jumped. Or even walking down the street, like, the city feels and looks so dangerous at all times. And I don't know if you agree or not. Yeah. That you feel like anything could go down. It's like, I don't want to be there.
Oh, yeah, cats look sketchy. Yeah.
But in this one, though, the action in it, the end, I'll put it this way. What made the episode for me wasn't just his interaction with Rosario Dawson's character, Claire. I thought that was really touching and really gripping because it went back and forth with the flashbacks of what happens to his dad. But the scene at the end, the cinematography, how they shot this scene, and the fighting in it. Only thing I can compare it to is The Raid and Oldboy. The reason why I say that is because with Raid, they don't stop shooting. There's not a cut panned out. They keep the camera there, and the scene keeps revolving. And in Oldboy, if y'all remember the hammer scene, if any of y'all seen Hammer Boy, when he actually has the hammer, he's fighting all these dudes, and he doesn't stop, and he's all jacked up. It's a realistic fight. It's not like, oh, okay, he's gonna have just a super burst of energy. Like, he goes as best he can. And I was like, this is beautiful. But anyway, I've been talking enough. Joe, what was your take on the second episode? Anything you want to talk about it?
Oh, man. So, if you didn't get enough flashbacks in the first one, you definitely get more flashbacks in the second one.
Yeah.
And it's even more emotional than, you know what I'm saying, the verse, which is crazy. Because, like, this episode, you actually see what happens to his dad. And,
gosh, man.
And it's very heartfelt, and it's very, like,
it's rough.
Like, yo, very emotional ride.
It's the first time you ever the camera. I always leave the camera. You just don't see it. I'm the Flash. I'm the Black Flash.
This is the first time you ever the camera.
No, you ain't. Just keep talking.
Yeah, so it's very emotional. Also, what I like about this series thus far, these two episodes I've seen. I like how they had a gap between the first episode and the second episode. Like, at the end of the first one, you see the boy who's getting kidnapped. There's a boy who gets kidnapped, and his father is actually, like, beat down in front of the boy, and they kidnap the boy. In the second episode, you know, it starts out again with Daredevil in the dumpster, and he went to go, so the time lapse between the two episodes, Daredevil went to go try to attempt to rescue the boy, and it's actually a trap.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool feature of the actual series and how they did that. Yeah. Cause it's like, yo, Daredevil's not sleeping. You know what I'm saying? He's like still on mission. Like,
Yeah.
that's a cool thing to think about. Like, between episodes, it's like there's actually meat that actually happens between. I really enjoy that.
You know, there's comic books are like that. When you go from issue 1 to issue 2, it doesn't exactly pick up right where it left off. It's a little gap in between, but then you know that the story is progressing by something that happens or gets brought back up. So maybe that's what they're trying to go for, the approach of the comic book.
I like it. I like what they're doing. And yeah, with Claire, not Claire, what's her name? Karen. You definitely see the trauma that she's dealing with. And that's something I thought about too. Like going into this episode, I was like, this chick almost got murdered in prison, like, or in jail, like being held in custody. She almost got murdered. And I was like, you know, that's probably a lot to deal with. And once, like, she was like, at one point in the episode, she was like, I don't want to go home. And I was like, that is so real. Like, I think that's cool that they would actually incorporate that in the story, because I was like, after going through what she was going through, I think, like, with other series, like, people go through dramatic stuff, and it's like, okay, like, for the sake of action, we're not going to touch on the actual trauma part of what you just went through. Yeah. I like the fact that they went there, and you actually see what she's dealing with. Yeah, and also, this was surprising me about Daredevil's character, man. There's one point on top of the roof. He's actually like, kind of like extracting information from one guy, and then he just pushes him off the roof, and I don't know if he knew that the guy would land in the trash.
Man, he didn't know. There's no way he could even tell. How would he know?
Exactly.
There's no way he could have told. Like, I mean, even if he could hear, like, ain't no way for him to see exactly where the joint going.
This guy is bad A, bro. This guy is bad A. And another thing too, you actually get to see in this episode like the full extent of this dude's hearing, his senses. Dude's smelling guys, like, it's crazy. Like, he can smell people from like the floors, like 3 stories down. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Yeah. And also, like, what else, bro? Like, what else we talk about? Yeah.
I mean, it was
good. I talked about.
Yeah, cool. I mean, well, this is the thing, you two. We're about to go and look at some more episodes, so we'll probably have like maybe a review for episode 3 and 4 tomorrow. I'm gonna post this up. We're gonna look at this tonight and reflect on it and chill. But straight up, this dude is on some Book of Eli joint, because this is the thing. Every single fight that he is in, he doesn't engage anybody. He waits. He might gang up on somebody and he might start a little bit, but he only counters everything that's around him. So it looks practical. It looks like, okay, even in this scene when he was fighting, he kind of walked up on him and opened the door, but they attacked him. And so he has to wait for them to attack him to judge how he's going to interact next week, because he's always hearing and listening. That's it. He can't see him. So I thought that was the most amazing thing, that they could have took the wind out and been like, oh, yeah, or just going in. But instead, like, he's countering, or he's moving, or he's adjusting, or he's using whatever he can to knock somebody out. I saw him throw like a canister or somebody's forehead. But it's pretty awesome so far. It's awesome so far.
I gotta talk about that last fight scene though. You know, it starts out just a straight slugfest, right? And then out of nowhere, like, Daredevil just pulls like this acrobatic like strike. He does like a flip kick or something like that. Or like jumps off the wall, punches somebody in the face. I'm just like, this dude is buck, man. I'm like, he's just, like, it's straight, like, you definitely tell he's like, his dad trained him. He definitely has training, like, being like a boxer, just a brawler. But then he'll just do something random that's just like, yo, that's freaking crazy. And those little bits of just like acrobatic moves, like, makes the fight scenes even more enjoyable, because it's not like over the top all the time. It's just like, you know what I'm saying,
it's
blow
just
for blow.
Enough.
Yeah, and it's just enough. They just throw one in there like, bow, like fireworks, bow, and it's just like, this is great.
Did he just do a cartwheel kick? What?
Exactly. A cartwheel kick, bro.
So I think they got something great here. They got great chemistry. They got a great story arc. They haven't even introduced the villain yet. It's 2 episodes in. Yeah, definitely check out Daredevil. What do you give a review for this one? For this episode?
Oh man, I love this episode, bro. I'm gonna give it a 9, just because I'm waiting.
I'm giving it a 9.5. I love this episode too.
I'm gonna give it a 9, just because it's the second episode. That's it. I'm waiting expectation for the 10. Cause if I give this one a 10, and then for the season finale, that joint motherfucking 11, that ain't fair to y'all.
We can give them 11 we want.
I can't do that. I should cut on the right time.